Well, morning guys. Just come to Sudbury in Suffolk for the day. Thought I'd come and do a little bit of pike fishing. Haven't been out here for a while. Well, I haven't been pike fishing for a while. Never actually fished this river at all. This section of the river at Sudbury. But I thought I'd come and give it a try. It looks quite good. You go right out the end there. You can turn right or you can turn left. Have a little sort of mooch up the river. I brought the little dinghy with me today. This is the dinghy that we got with Safari. So it's got the little 2.5 horsepower yam on the back, which you can use on this section of the river. It is a 4 mile an hour speed limit, but I shan't be going mad. I should just be sort of trolling up and down the river anyway. So yeah, we'll get up there and see if there's anything about. Okay guys, so just before we set off up the river, I just want to show you what I'm using today. I've got my kanji, my 2.4 metre kanji. Quite a nice little spinning rod, ideal for pike fishing, bass fishing, that sort of thing. I've got my favourite sort of lures. We've got boxes full of stuff, so got plenty to try today. Spoons and all sorts in there. So yeah, well, you know, if there's anything about, I'm sure we're going to have a bit of luck by a pike taking something that we've got on offer. Yeah, plenty of bits and pieces in there. So just wanted to show you first of all what I'm going to be using. We'll see if we can get something out of the river. It looks quite clear today, so it's little places like here underneath these trees and that. There's sort of places, if I was a pike, that's where I'd be sort of hanging out. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful today. Really, really nice. But yeah, I'm going to have a few casts around here, around this tree, and see if there's anything about here, and then I'll work my way up the river, I think, and just sort of pick out every sort of little overhang, any little sort of structure that looks good. I'll chuck my lure in there and see if we can find anything, but not too sure if you can see the clarity of the water, but it is quite clear, so you can just about make out the bottom. So I'm sure if there's a pike down there, he'll be looking up and waiting to ambush something that comes along. Stuck on the bottom. It's quite weedy actually. I didn't think it was going to be as weedy as what it is, but there's a fair old bit of weed if you let that lure drop down too far, as you can see on the camera. I'll get rid of that. I might have to change my lure in a minute and maybe put something a little bit different on. Maybe a bit of a weedless lure. We've got a couple of them in the box, so we'll have another couple of flicks with this one and see if we can have any luck. Maybe I'll just sort of cast and retrieve it sort of straight away really, rather than let it sink too much. We'll have one more cast over that way and then we'll move around the other side of that tree, I think. So I've just found this little bridge here, so I thought I'd have a little play around here. I've changed my lure as well. Just get out of the sun so you can see it. It's a bit smaller. So yeah, just have a little try around this bridge section and see if there's anything sort of lurking around here. Well, I did catch something. Found hooked a little bit of bait there. Tiny little fish. So I'll get him off the hook and get him back. But that's a good sign really. If there's loads of little sort of bait fish like that in the water, then obviously, you know, the river's quite healthy, and hopefully there will be some pike in here. Sort of, as you can see, I'm getting pushed along quite quickly now by the river, as it's sort of gone quite thin in there and got quite a flow of water coming through. So I'm just going to let it drift me back, and we'll go back the way we've come. I don't know how much further I can get up there, but I'm having a bit of a battle trying to fish, and I really would like to keep my lure in the margins really, rather than sort of in the fast flowing section, because I don't really think that there'd be a lot of pike in that middle section of the river. You know, they're not going to exert a lot of energy sort of just sitting there in the middle there and waiting for fish to come along. So I think my main sort of chances are really going to be on the sides. So I need to sort of get where the river's a little bit wider, and I've got to probably have a bit more of a chance of sort of picking one up in the margins. So I'm going to go back downriver a little bit more and see if I can sort of find another little overhang or something I can sort of tuck myself into and fish from there. So I'm just sort of stopping on the river on the way down. I've literally just sort of lure fished all of this, sort of sections of it as we go along. I'm just battling with the weed, to be honest, up this end. I don't know, yeah, where I very first started seemed to be alright, so I'm slowly making my way back down there, but I'm trying to sort of cover most parts of the river if I can, really, because, you know, you never know where they're going to be. I've stopped for a bit. I'm going to have a cup of tea and yeah, just enjoy the day as well. It's absolutely beautiful. Not a cloud in the sky, apart from over there in the distance. But yeah, you know what I mean. Absolutely beautiful. So weedy. It's like every other cast it's cracking into a bit of weed or something, you know, but I'll persist. Well, I've got the best sort of lure on here that I could possibly catch one with, because it's quite light and it just raises to the surface as well, so I can sort of judge really how deep, how fast to sort of retrieve it, you know, so I don't get the bottom weed as well. But there's a blanket of weed on the bottom, and then every now and again on the top there's bits and pieces as well, so it's sort of quite hard to get through it, but it's quite nice. So I'm just drifting down the river and I'm just sort of trying both sides, and yeah, I can see the lure really well in the water, so the water's really quite clear. It's just that weed, you know, trying to get through it. But it's probably quite good for the pike though. If there's plenty of weed, they've got plenty to hide behind and ambush their prey. Seem to get big clumps of weed in the middle, and they rise right up to the sort of, you know, almost sort of 6 inches from the top. You can't really see it on camera, but you can just see the light shine on it every now and again. And all these lovely houses in the background as well. God, imagine living here on the river. I wouldn't get no work done. I'd be fishing all the time. I did change to just a sort of a single hook, weedless, more of a weedless one, but the problem is it's got so much weight on it, it was sinking almost straight to the bottom straight away, and I couldn't, I was just picking up the weed anyway, you know. But I'll persist with this lure, I think, at the moment. This is probably my best bet, this one, but it's got some smaller hooks on it. It's not picking up as much. It's quite, you get sort of parts of the river where there's hardly any weed, and in other parts it's just chocked. But I'm having fun anyway, as always. And it's quite nice as well because I can come in here on this little boat. It's giving me an idea of whether Paul and Dylan would like to come, and we'll do it on the bigger boat, but on the spinner, and that's quite easy to get in here and quite easy to launch, as you see from the beginning of the video. It's quite a nice place to come to. But me and Dylan done a canoe trip down this river. As we come out of the main part, we turned left, and yeah, we spent 2 days. We had an overnight camp and went right away from Sudbury to Catawade. Just canoed it, canoed the whole lot, and it's quite hard work, but there's quite a lot of portage points as well to sort of contend with. But it's a lovely stretch of river, and I can imagine there's a good stamp of fish in here as well. But so coming back up to the bridge again, so just thought I'd film a bit of this and see if we can that sun is shining beautifully on that water. Weed again. Well, I sort of quite fancy my chances around here, really. I've changed my lure. I've now got this one on. It's a bit more of a deeper diving one, and there's not so much weed around here either, so I fancy could be something around here, really. I'm going to try casting sort of all the way around this area, even right past that little bit of outcrop of tree there, and then yeah, just see if I can pick something out here. The conditions are just so ideal. I just can't believe I haven't had a take on one yet, but it is what it is. It's fishing, I guess. But I'll change me lure. I've got like I say, a bit more of a deeper diving one. Hopefully, get down a bit lower in the water, and hopefully there ain't so much weed down this side, but maybe they're sitting a little bit more on the bottom. I'd have thought they'd have been sort of like looking up as well, and they'll attack anything that comes along the surface as well. But I'll get that in there, and we'll have a little play around here for 5 minutes and see if we can pick something out here. I'm sort of back to where I started now. There's the entrance to, or the exit where I come out of, should I say, but yeah, the entrance back into the launch spot. But I thought I'd have a little try just around here before I head in. I'm still sort of just slowly drifting down the river, really, so picking up a bit more weed again, but it's worth a little try. I was going to head down that way today, actually, and sort of go and have a little wander down that way, but I think I'll save that for the next time me and Dylan and Paul come or whatever, and I didn't realise how big the launch area was. I thought it was only sort of quite a small launch ramp, but we could probably get the spinner down there quite easy enough, or even real therapy in here, so I shall probably save that part of the river for another day and let's try around here a few more goes just to see if there's anything about. I've not even seen a pike all day long, and the water's been pretty clear, but you have days like that though. I think also maybe the electric outboard might have been a little bit of a better choice, but which I did bring. I left it in the van, but I just sort of thought, oh, I'll use the petrol one, and it is a little bit too fast if you want to just sort of troll along really, but well, back where we started, guys. No pike today, but hopefully in the future we'll come back and have another little go. Lovely stretch of river though, so yeah, it's definitely going to be pike in here. I'll come back probably with Dylan, a bit more manpower, and we'll have another go. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next week on the next one. See you later, guys.